developing story. WNBA star Brittney Griner has been freed in a prison swap, with the United States releasing arms dealer Victor Boot. We have Brittney's teammate Brianna Turner joining us. We're also going to hear from WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. We also have Becky Hammon and Chiney Ogwumike in studio with us with perspective on Griner's release. But first, here's what President Joe Biden tweeted this morning. He said, "Moments ago, I spoke to Brittney Griner. She is safe. She is on a plane. She is on her way home." And President Biden and Cherelle Griner, Brittney's wife, spoke to reporters this morning.
Moments ago, standing together with her wife Cherelle in the Oval Office, I spoke with Brittney Griner. She's safe. She's on a plane. She's on her way home. After months of being unjustly detained in Russia, held under intolerable circumstances, Brittney will soon be back in the arms of her loved ones, and she should have been there all along. This is a day we've worked toward for a long time. We never stopped pushing for her release. It took painstaking and intense negotiations, and I want to thank all the hard-working public servants across my administration who worked tirelessly to secure her release.
Today, my family is whole, but as you all are aware, there's so many other families who are not whole. And so BG's not here to say this, but I will gladly speak on her behalf and say that BG and I will remain committed to the work of getting every American home, including Paul, whose family is in our hearts today. As we celebrate BG being home, we do understand that there are still people out here who are enduring what I endured the last 9 months of missing tremendously their loved ones. So thank you, everybody, for your support. And today it's just a happy day for me and my family. So I'm going to smile right now. Thank you.
Powerful words there from Cherelle Griner. Joining us now is ESPN investigative reporter TJ Quinn. And TJ, you've been at the forefront of this reporting for the past 9.5 months. So let's start here. For months, there have been calls for Brittney's release. Why and how did this happen today?
Well, what the U.S. had been waiting for all along was a serious counteroffer from Russia to the one that the U.S. made back in June. And it's only the last couple weeks that we're told that Russia finally did say we're willing to make this deal. The U.S. had wanted Paul Whelan the whole time. They wanted a package deal. But once Russia said we're willing to do the one-for-one deal, it was clear that that was the only deal they were going to make. A White House official actually told me this afternoon that the U.S. proposed Paul Whelan straight up for Victor Boot, but Russia said it was a non-starter. They consider Paul Whelan to be a different class of prisoner than was. So within the past week, President Biden was told this is the offer we think we can do. We don't think we can get the other. He approved it, and then things really started to move the last 48 hours.
You mentioned it, American Paul Whelan still in a Russian penal colony. TJ, thank you so much. We're going to have more on that piece of this later in the show. But for now, I want to bring in our panel, Becky Hammon and Chiney Ogwumike. And Chiney, I want to start with you here. Your initial reaction when you saw the news this morning was...
Well, I think Becky and I had the same thing. We got the best text ever to start our day. Mine came from my big sister, Chiney Ogwumike. And so around 5 a.m., we were very, very relieved to see this news. And then soon thereafter, I flipped on the news, and then I saw that powerful image of President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and Cherelle Griner, and they talked about how important this moment was. And I would like to say that this is very emblematic, because what Brittney Griner represents just simply by existing as a Black queer woman, the message that the world sees is that you are worth fighting for. You are worth securing, situations that might be precarious. We're going to be here and make sure that you can come back home. That, to me, was a huge message. But also the second part that I absolutely loved by Cherelle was her saying that, hey, while this might be a collective sigh of relief for my family, while this might be a great day for us, our job that we've seen countless times in the WNBA, our job does not stop right now. The work continues. We are going to be advocates for others wrongfully detained, similar to Paul Whelan, and saying, hey, you know what? This is a cause that we can carry and we can champion. And we've seen the WNBA, as you know, do this time and time again, whether it is the 2020 elections, where they stepped up and advocated for the communities they represent. And I say we represent, as a member of the WNBA, a league that is predominantly of Black women, 80%, and allies. And then now you see it in 2022 with the issue of the wrongful detained and our sister Brittney Griner. The collective power of sports is amazing, particularly when we see it through the lens of what the WNBA players have represented. So I know that's a long sermon, but it was a great way to start our day.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.